Hello there, peoples of the Internetz, and this is the video I promised to make if we hit 5 likes on the thing on the last video, and we actually did it, so that's awesome. So I am going to do this. Now this is going to be a general sort of. I may seem rambly in this because I'm kind of going to try to cover a lot of ground as far as the story goes, but it is still going to be just a general overview of the story. I won't be talking. I won't be talking about characters or thing or like specific events really beyond just like the first level, I guess, of the story. Uh, so if you guys want me to do some more of that, then just like the video, tell me in the comments. Feel free to leave a comment of any sort, really, and that would be awesome. Subscribe if you haven't. So, all right, let's jump into it. So, basically, the genre I'm going for, you may already know if you've seen the other videos, which will be most of you probably. It is a action RPG with a kind of fantasy theme. It's going to have like a lot of monsters, weird creatures, magic, probably, hopefully, definitely, cool stuff like that. Now, basically, setting wise, you are the character you play. I don't know. I'm throwing around whether or not to make it sort of a customizable name, or if not, then his name is William, because why not? So William, who you play as, is basically a peasant on this kind of. Instead of really it being a feudal system, if you guys know anything about that, it's more of just sort of a self-sustaining village that really runs off of these people who are basically living in peasant-like conditions. They're basically just farmers, and it's like a farming village, and that's basically all you know in your life up till events happen. Is that you are a farmer, you collect wheat, you go maybe to the market a couple times, and you basically you don't know of life outside of your village, which is kind of walled off, and it's sort of there's no real interaction outside of it. And for the most part, you guys are left alone, backstory ish. So, what happens? Well, off in some very, very, very far away land, this sort of evil kingdom basically springs up, and it starts going for major land grabs. And it sends out basically these raiding parties all over the place. And unfortunately for you, your village is attacked by one of these raiding parties. Oh, thing just fell. One of these raiding parties, and you are in the field somewhere. You're like asleep. That's kind of more into just how I was thinking I could like pull something like this off, where you're sort of hidden from them. But basically, they take everybody as slaves in your village, and it's up to you to now rescue them. So how do you do this? Well, you as the character, William, realize that you can't do it alone because you're a farmer and you have no combat experience or training whatsoever. And even if you did, a single person going up against the kingdom is not going to do much, unlike the other RPGs, which are kind of unrealistic. And I do want to stick to sort of being logical about how it would be carried out that one peasant could take over a kingdom. So basically, what you do is you head to different lands, and now this is where the whole idea behind different worlds comes in, because I really want it to be sort of this kind of adventurous, exotic game where you're going to these extremely exotic worlds that are super different from one another. Not worlds, like places, like lands. You meet these completely different cultures with that have different races. Some are alien-like, some are like minotaurs. I had an idea for goblins, stuff like that. So you meet these different factions, and you basically have to convince them through doing missions for them, through helping them in some way or another, through persuading them that they should fight for you and take over this, or destroy rather this giant evil kingdom that's now rising up, sort of. And it's already been established, and it's huge, and it's powerful, and it's evil. And it's got an evil ruler. I haven't thought of a name or anything, so come back to you when I do. But basically, you start off, and the first place you travel to is basically this village. That's kind of just more or less sort of like your own, but a little bit more militaristic, in the sense that it does have like an actual core of soldiers, and you do quests for them. And I do have ideas for quests, but I'm not going to get into it right now. I want to sort of just give a basic overview. And then you basically go on, and I was thinking, I don't know if I'll put more in between this, but you go to this place where there are minotaurs, and there are goblins, and there are these other creatures and stuff. So basically, that's kind of the story. Now, that's the general story, and if you guys want, I'll go more into depth, make more videos, and I really do want to, but it's, again, ultimately up to you guys, what you guys want to hear about it. Whether I should go more into depth and make a video for, okay, now I'm going to explain this chapter of the story. And I do want to sort of make it as almost like chapters, really, where each land that you travel to is its own chapter. And I could, now thinking about releasing the thing, I'd probably release them separately. So, yeah, so basically now moving on to sort of design ideas. So one of the big ideas I have is that in all the lands that you travel to, there's a conflict that has to be resolved, and it's usually between two different factions, or two different people, or two different groups, or something like that. And this is very important. I think that you should be able to choose which faction you help, and each of these different factions that fight each other, that you sort of come in between, and you're like, oh, which one do I choose? They have very different characteristics, and they can help you in very different ways. And it's really sort of this, you're supposed to think strategically, well, okay, I've already got this faction helping me and this faction helping me. And this one has really light units that are fast and can sort of scout out the place, right? So I don't really need another faction like that. Now I need to go after a faction that has sort of a more tanky feeling. Like, they've got tanks that can sort of take the brunt of the impact in like a battle, and really sort of basically tank everything. So instead of going for a faction that's light and small, you need a faction that's huge, like composed of big, muscly, awesome, like barbaric, I don't know, anything like that. Or you need a faction that's focusing on magic, or more things like that. So once you get into that, that's one major aspect of it that I want to add to the thing. So another thing, I want to have some form of crafting in it, where you could basically craft different items that you could use on your journey. So what I was thinking is sort of more something like basically almost a Minecraft-ish thing, a mix between like the Minecraft crafting system and the in like more common MMORPGs. There's like the whole like, oh, get a recipe, and then you basically make that. So what I was thinking is that in Minecraft, you've got those like grids that you put items into, and that's going to be very important, because in the game you're going to be getting a lot of materials, stuff like that. Just along your travels, you're going to accumulate stuff. So unlike the Minecraft thing where there's a grid of like it's 3x3, this one's a lot more complex, and it's very important that you get things put in the right spot. And what's very important is that you can experiment. So basically, you're like, okay, and I don't know how big I'll make it. I think maybe like 5x5 or something. I don't know, 6x6. Yeah, 5x5, something like that. But that's a later thing. So like that, say, right? So you've got like a rock, right? And you've got a couple of sticks, right? So you can be like, okay, well, I wonder what'll happen if I put like a stick here, and like here, and then a rock, like, I don't know, here, right? And nothing may come out of it, something may come out of it, or you may just break your items, right? But now this is where the other part of this comes in, where now you also, along your travels, you can get these sort of recipes where they say like, oh, put like a rock here and then like sticks here and sticks here to get this item. And that gives you this greater chance of making it correctly. And I'll have this sort of chance thing with it where even if you do it correctly without without a recipe, you still have a big chance of just breaking it and coming out like with having broken items that are useless, or are scrap really. Whereas if you had a recipe, you're more likely to come out successfully making it. On top of that, the more you make a sort of type of item, like the more you make axes, the better you get at making axes. Like you'll have sort of experience with making this form of item, and that'll just increase the percent chance you have of actually making it correctly and not breaking it. So that's a very important thing. Other than that, I don't know. Other than that, I don't know what kind of things I should add. I really want it to be sort of a RPG feeling, sort of a. It has to be story focused. So yeah, that's that. This was a pretty rambly video, a pretty long video, and that's kind of what I'm going to do. Well, okay, whatever. I'm really rambly. Lucas, talk. Okay, so what I want to do now, the videos are this is gonna be the end. But in the future, I want to do a sort of character preview thing where I devote a video to describing in depth a sort of character or an important character rather in the game. And I really want to start this off as sort of like a side series to the whole like devlog thing, with the thing. Now, let me know if this is something you want me to do, and I don't know. I may end up doing it anyway. But let's say if we get 7 likes on this video, random number, 7 likes on this video, I'm going to make the next one like tomorrow, I guess. Because I already have one in mind. But if we don't, then like I'll probably do it when I come back from camp. Which again, reminder, I'm leaving on the 29th, which is in 3 days, and I won't be back for a month. So give you an idea of how long you'd have to wait for anything like that to come out. So if that's something you like, definitely like the video, comment, subscribe if you haven't. Do all that fun stuff, and I'll do more of my fun stuff, which is posting videos for you guys and making the game and doing stuff. Meh. Okay, cool. So stay awesome, peoples, and I will see you later.